because it's like so close to Christmas, I'm doing a Christmas presentation, like with how you can help people with dementia at Christmas time. Because obviously everything can be quite overwhelming. So if I can get it to screen share. It's saying that the host has stopped screen share. It's not working, but I'll just keep talking, it's fine. So there's like several different things you can do to help with Christmas. So one of them could be like just putting up your Christmas decorations up gradually. Because some people with dementia, that if you just walk into like a Christmas tree and everything's changed, like you've moved the settee so you can put the Christmas tree up, you put everything differently, it can be a massive shock to the system. So just try, like even just starting to put up little bits like from now, and so it's all ready for the big event. And then it's a bit more relaxed atmosphere and they've got used to some of the changes. So another thing to try and do is just keep everything like really, really simple. So none of those big flashy lights, over the top sort of things, like when you see the Grinch coming into people's houses. Please don't do that. Just try and keep everything just simple and bring out all the sentimental bits, like when the grandkids came over and they made Christmas trees and all the pictures of the grandkids with Santa. All those sentimental things can be so beneficial, because even if they don't tell you about the memories, they can just be quite calming for them because they're things that they've remembered, and just makes the whole experience a lot pleasant. Working now. Here we go. So yeah, nothing like this where it's completely over the top. And yeah, all these little things they love. And then just try and keep somewhere in the house just clear and quiet space for them in this time, because when everyone's over and there's a lot of noise and a lot of chatter, they can come into that quiet space and just calm down, even just to like read a book or have a little sleep or anything like that, so they can get away. Like another thing is also just be mindful of food. Like if you're going to give someone one of these new mint terry chocolate orange, I bet they're going to think it's going to be orange and not mint, and they're going to have the worst surprise in their life. So just try and keep everything basic. And like I know that Christmas time the shops do all these lovely foods with like triple cheese and maple and like these really fancy Brussels sprouts. They may not want that. They may just literally want beans on toast because their taste buds have changed with the dementia. So don't be like upset if they don't like all the fancy food that you brought in. It might be a case they just want something plain and something normal, because that's their taste buds have changed. And then just remember to be like flexible this time of year. I have so many people like going, we're going to pick mum up, we're going to take her to mine, we're going to do this and this and that. And then on that day, that lady doesn't even want to get out of bed. She's like, no, staying in bed. And I think it's just remember that plans are not always going to go as you think they are. And there might be the case that you're not going to get them out of the house at all. So just be prepared to like either bring it over to them or have a different plan in place just in case. And then like 8, to plan ahead. If you're thinking of doing family activities like going to see Christmas lights, just remember about the cold. You might need to bring a wheelchair, anything like that is always a good idea. And then just like if you've got like a parent that's got dementia and they always used to make the Christmas dinner, they always used to do the Christmas cards, they always used to have the family traditions, we can still get them involved. So they can even do small bits of the Christmas dinner, like making the gravy. It keeps them involved And even though they might not be able to write, 40 cards out to the family, one thing they would be able to do is, if you got them to just write the end of a card, scan it onto your computer, and then get the printer labels, and you print their signature into every label, and you can then stick their signature into the cards at the bottom. So they still had some sort of impact on making all their Christmas cards. But that's really it about the Christmas stuff. Have you got any questions?
Sorry, couldn't find my unmute. Yeah, no, that was fab. I love that, Yasmin. And so many things that you don't actually think of. With regards to, obviously, dementia can affect people at all sort of various ages. Obviously, that information is the same regardless of someone's age, because that's how it is. Do you find people with somebody that's a younger person with dementia almost tries harder at Christmas because they want that younger person to be more kind of Christmassy involved, whereas for an older person, my nan's 104, she doesn't have any dementia, but for years she's just kind of sat in the corner at Christmas. Obviously we don't ignore her, but you know what I mean, she's kind of there. Is it a tendency, someone's younger, if they've still got dementia, we've just got to do the same thing and just kind of step back and keep it calm and not be like, they're young, they must enjoy Christmas?
Yeah, so it just really depends on the person, because each person with dementia is totally different.
Yeah.
It can be the case that they get really excited about Christmas and they really love it. But they might also have the same things of when there's too many people around, the noise levels are up, and they may just get really overwhelmed. So I think it's literally a case by case situation. You will always know that person the best, and you will know what they need at that certain time. But yeah, definitely.
I tell you what would be really good. I don't know if you've already do this, almost like a little handout that people can give to their family that are coming round, and sort of say, like, this is how we do Christmas, because I think it's all very well for the person that's hosting the Christmas. So then when you get maybe a couple of guests or family come round that try and kind of do it how they've always done it. But
yeah. When people try and implement new changes and things like that, it's not always the best. And so when they bring the dogs and everything else, it's like, whoa, it's a bit too much. And you could, definitely worth something like that.
Anyone else have any questions for Yasmin? You've obviously given everyone lots of fantastic ideas, and I suppose it's Claire has a question.
I just wanted to say a massive thank you to Yasmin, because your experience and your insight is absolutely amazing. And again, for the help that you gave us as a food bank when we encountered a lady with dementia at a weekend. We couldn't have done it without your advice, so thank you.
Did it go okay?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Thank you.
Well, that's wonderful. Any other questions? I suppose it's similar, to somebody with any challenge. It may not be dementia, but any kind of behavioural, emotional challenges or physical challenges, people have got to adapt. They can't just go with the Christmas that they've always done.
Even age impacts it, because when you do get to a certain age and you've got hearing aids and stuff, you don't want to be around lots of people all the time. You sort of get used to being on your own.
And would you say, again, speaking from my family experience, if you've got younger children that are loving all the hustle and the bustle, there is nothing wrong to, my nan will sometimes sit for periods in the other room, and we'll say, oh gosh, Nanny's in there on her own, but actually she's fine, she's got the television on, because she's in a care home. She does spend some time on her own, so that's okay as well, isn't it, to give them some of their own time?
It really is. And like I find with the elderly, when they get to a certain age, they love their family, but little kids they can't deal with as much, because they're so bouncy and all over the top, and they love them very much, but they only can deal with a certain amount of time slots, and that's okay to just have their own time. They just need to.
Yeah, they get overwhelmed, just like babies get overwhelmed and they need a bit of time out. The elderly are the same, aren't they? They need a little bit of time out from all the hustle and bustle and the Robux just or whatever the word is, little ones.